Welcome to the January Donovan Show, where we have our mother and daughter segment, Raising Girls to Be Women. And I'm joined by my daughter, Pia, where we break down questions and we talk about them, and she shares her heart. So today's question is about a mom who's anxious and the impact it has on their home and in our children. So talk to me, Pia, about your experience about just anxiety or a mom that's sort of emotionally not in command. What's that like been for you? Or what's your observation?
Yeah,
Let me go into that.
I haven't really experienced that, but I've definitely observed it in homes. But for me, I think anxious parents create anxious kids unknowingly because they're constantly surrounded by that, and then that's a thought process that they adapt to their life because that's what they're hearing and that's what they're experiencing throughout their whole entire day. So I think it's really important as a parent to have a good mindset and to be able to understand um, not to show, or even if they are having anxiety, but like not to show it so strongly in their children's lives because then that will affect their lives and it will create like a home that's not happy, that's anxious, and that's very stressful. So I think it's really important for parents to be able to manage their minds because it affects their children and it will impact their childhood.
Yeah, I mean, anxious, like you said it just right. And so, what does anxiety kind of look like? I mean, feel like? Like, what does that look like? Obviously, in our own home, I think that, I'm very fierce about just A, that word, but
Yeah.
B, just protecting like the importance of emotional command. What does that look like? Why are teens anxious? Like, why is that an issue, I guess?
Well, there's just a lot of things in life that could cause anxiety, but it's also the way you think about it. Like certain friendships, there's a lot of drama with girls, especially at a young age, like boyfriends, just different things going on in your life. I think that is a main causer of anxiety, but then also just your home life and like maybe there's something going on in your family that's really frustrating, really hard, and then on top of school that creates anxiety and not knowing how to manage your mind in those hard moments and in those difficult times really affects your mental health because you're not able to control your stress, your depression, your anxiety, and everything. It's like a pile and it all comes
Compounds,
together.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's a really frustrating, really hard for,
A lot of, yeah.
yeah, a lot
What
of
would
people.
you, so what would that look like? Like, what if you came home and I was stressed, which I don't even, do you experience my stress? I'm just curious if I,
No,
like,
well, like for you, stress is something that you don't ever say and you choose not to use. And I know when you are frustrated with something, but it's the way that you approach it to us is much different than maybe like another parent would. It's like this is something that's challenging, but it's how is this helping me? How can I grow from this? And how can I learn from this? Other than like, this is so hard. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is impossible. Because then that affects everyone else.
yeah, or making a big deal out of little things.
Yeah.
It's just, like, talk to me about just the, just a child who, if a mom is anxious and stressed and she's always like, how would a child like feel when there's a lot of challenges outside her home, but when she goes home, she can't go to her mother or she can't
It
rest at
just creates
home.
another thing for her to be worried about and another stress on her heart. Like I'm going through this, but oh, my mom's going through something else. I don't want to burden her with my stress, and then it's like I don't have that relationship with my mom. I'm struggling with school. I have no one to turn to. My mom's also struggling, and then for that child, it's like where do I go and what do I even do? And then that's when a lot of people are caught up in doing the wrong things.
Yeah, because I have no one to go to. There's no safe haven. Okay, from your perspective, and you might not know how to answer this, what do you think causes mothers to be stressed?
I think it all roots back to how they perceive things and what they see. But I mean, in life, there's going to be hard things. Like, it just depends on how you react to it. Like, if you have a busy day where your kid has like multiple sports, you need to make sure they have their lunch. You have this bill's due and all of that, and money is a problem in the moment. That all like creates a lot of stress and anxiety, and I feel like that's normal to experience, but it's how you react in those moments and how you respond to those difficult times.
Yeah, so should laundry be stressful?
No.
Should kitchen be stressful?
No. Those
Should
are those are part of your life, and you should make that something that's easy, and that should not affect the rest of your life. I feel like that should just be something that this is easy, I can get it done.
It's not a big deal.
This is my contribution to my family, and
Hmm.
it's really nothing compared to everything else.
Yeah. Is cooking supposed to be stressful?
No,
Is
but it
children?
is.
It is.
It is to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You have observed that.
Yeah, I have observed because it's like, oh, I need to get this meal done. I need to get this cooked. I need to have the kitchen clean, and it's just like so much. But really, it's so simple. You just cook while you clean. You start and you finish, and you get it over with. You have to create a rhythm and
Systems.
a system to your life and to your
Mhm.
house, or else it's gonna create a lot of stress,
Yeah,
unneeded
but
stress.
sorry, honey, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I love having your friends over. Like it's a joy. Like we had a bunch of our friends, but I do think that if a meal is a big deal and cleaning is a big deal, then it's hard to actually invite people in, right? Like it's then everything is like a huge deal. What happened last night? This I love this new guy that is new to the school. He comes in and he's always like, Miss Donovan, what's for dinner tonight? And and it's the Filipino in me. But when we're hijack, we can't serve, and so that's a mother's role. And I tell you that. I said, you have to master your kitchen, master cooking, master doing things efficiently, because otherwise it will be stressful and you can't create the environment for your children's and your children's friend to want to be there, right? And it has got a ripple impact. Okay, another thing, should mothers be stressed about kids crying?
No, but it does happen a lot, and it's hard not to, especially when there's a lot going on, and then on
It
top of it,
happens a
a
lot, you mean for
baby's
moms?
crying. You have to learn how to react and how to help
Respond
those
to
children.
it.
And yeah, there's a lot of skills
Hmm.
behind parenting, especially for toddlers and for babies, and how to properly do that, which I obviously don't know that well, but I like to observe and watch and
Yeah,
see what
and
makes
yeah,
other
and
people
a
react.
lot of times at home, there's a lot going on, so you have to really like Rock's making a mess and Jig's making a mess, and you really have to be like, it's just a mess, although I
Yeah.
don't like mess. And so you really have to manage your mind and not like, oh, it's just. What about children who are disrespectful? Should that cause us stress?
No, I don't think that should affect the rest of your life. I think you need to manage it, and I think you need to be invested and involved in it, and then like go on with your life. Like maybe send them to the room and they recalibrate while you get some other things done,
Yeah.
and don't let that affect the rest of your day. Like, oh, he was just not being respectful today, and that was just really hard, and it really impacted my day. And like having that talk about that really could also like make it seem so much harder than it actually
Yeah.
was.
So these are just normal things, but how we view it, like, okay, your child screaming, your something didn't work out, or when things don't work out the way we planned, should we stress about it?
No.
No,
I
right?
feel like you just need to accept it, and be like, "Okay, this didn't work out great, but
Let's
this happened,
recalibrate.
and this
Yeah,
was great." Yeah.
life is happening. Okay, when somebody criticizes you or somebody is, says something else, should we be stressed about it?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm actually
I
pointing
mean,
out things
I
that
think that
mothers are stressed about.
sometimes it's okay to be like, "Oh, why did they say that?"
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then also, like, why did they say that? Like, understanding, like, is there a reason behind that?
Mhm.
What can I learn from that? Not like, "Oh my gosh, this is what they think about me, like, I'm gonna let this affect me the rest of my day." It's like, "No, h what can I take from them saying that thing about me, and then how can I move past that?"
Yeah. And a lot of times it's making a big deal out of things that are just like not really a huge deal. That's a
Yeah.
big thing that I think I have noticed is that, like you said, our perspective, it's like in the grand scheme of life, how important is this really? Like it didn't work out or something pivoted or there's a spilled milk or somebody. And that's important because I think if that compounds, like you're upset because your child is upset or the baby's crying, and then you have to offer a boundary, and then the kitchen's not clean, and then the laundry's piling up, and you're concerned about what somebody else thought about you. I mean, imagine that every single day. Like, that's what I think we have weakened the woman's mindset so much that what used to be normal is now considered such a burden, like raising a child, you know, taking care of your home. Like that's what a lot of mothers feel so burdened. And I can understand their burden because there's no training in some of these skill set, which is obviously what we do in the women's school. But it's almost as though they're being robbed of the very thing that makes them a woman, and everything is harder because like some of the most basic things is harder, right? Like it's not normal. It's like teenagers are hard. I resist that narrative.
I
I'm
feel like
sure
the culture has also normalized that and,
the
like,
teenagers are
we're
hard.
talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I resist it. Like I love teenagers, like I mean I'm not like easy on you. Would you say that? Like it's not like I let you have
But
a
that's not how you're supposed to raise teenagers in the first place.
yes, correct. I mean there's boundaries and we have
Depending on the kid too, yeah.
yeah, and we have difficult conversations, right? Like it's like I
But
you
there's no growth, like, you're not gonna learn anything without those difficult
Mhm.
conversations. If you just, like, choose not to talk about them, then even more hard things are gonna happen.
But that could be another reason why a lot of mothers could be stressed is because they're not even really talking about those things, right? Having a hard conversation or deep conversation. And I guess the point I'm taking home here is that a mother's peace of mind is pivotal in creating a peaceful and beautiful home. I'm going to ask you a question here that could be challenging. Somebody who wants to be a faithful mother, who's praying but is anxious, how does that what does that communicate to you?
Someone who's trying to work on their faith, is that what you're saying?
Somebody who teaches like you need to make sure you are somebody who's basically helping their kids, or obviously a good thing, like preaching to make sure you're faithful, and I obviously
Yeah.
want that, but they're anxious. What does that communicate to the child? What does that communicate to you?
Their words aren't as valuable to the child because they're like, my this life that my mom has, and she seems constantly anxious and stressed. Why would I want to listen to her when she's telling me about these other things and these faith teachings? When I'm like, I don't even want her life. Why would I want to apply her lifestyle and her things that she's saying, because it doesn't mean much to me.
Oh my gosh, that is so powerful, but it's so hard to hear. It's like
Yeah.
if you want your child to live the faith you're living, then they have to love the life you're living. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Right? And so this is why I think it's so important, because mothers are just underskilled and not to a fault of their own. And they want to communicate a moral, faithful life, because ultimately I know that's what's going to make you a happier individual if you're living in harmony with God's will and our Lord's, moral teaching and the gospel. But if I'm telling you that and my life doesn't reflect it, then I'm pretty much hypocritical,
Hmm.
right? And that's something that I think is a massive danger that I think don't
It's a
talk about enough.
really big impact, and I've seen it in a lot of people's lives. It's like they have these parents who are faithful people, but their children don't want the life that they have, so they just go completely against what they are saying and what they're asking of them. And it's really frustrating because the parents just wants the best for their child, but they don't understand that these kids aren't able to understand that and able to see that because of the life that they're living.
Yeah, it's not what's taught, it's what's caught. Like that's
Mhm.
actually a phrase, that's not my phrase, but essentially it's not what I tell you, it's how I'm living my life that ultimately creates the invitation for the kind of life that you want to live
Yeah.
or not live. And that is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of moms. And I have such mercy for mothers just because they're undertrained. And that's why I think that it's so important for women to be studying themselves on a daily basis. And I know that's something that I challenge you, I stretch you, but because I think it has eternal consequence. Then
Yeah.
if you're not studying yourself, then how can you better yourself? If you're not bettering yourself, then your child could also miss the very thing that God is asking of them because they don't want the faith that you're living. I mean, it's that actually massive, right? And so people rebel against the church not because of Jesus, but because of
Of their
how
surroundings. That's not always their parents, though. That could also be their teachers, just like big people that are part of their life, and also maybe their community and their church.
that I mean that the environment shapes it. Well, the primary environment is our own home, but ultimately, obviously, the environment and how important it is. What's your
Yeah.
advice for children who maybe are struggling because their mothers are underskilled in emotional command, which obviously I have such mercy towards? Like, what do you want to say to them with such compassion for their mothers?
Well, for the children, if you are not able to see your mom as a role model, then I think it's important to have one and to look for other women that you admire and that you could see yourself becoming, so that you know what you want and you're able to see these things in these people's lives that you really admire versus not having that at all. And then if you want to communicate with that with your mom about that, like, hey, like, I'm really struggling with this, like, maybe she's a lot more open than you think just because of how you're observing her. And I feel like having that open conversation with your mom is really important.
Yes. Well, that's such a great advice. You're so wise. So wise, sweetie. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for all of you listening. Come and join our free community, tws.com. Or if you want greater accountability, come join our New Woman Masterclass, which is a training really on mindset and skill set and how to flourish in every arena so that you can actually train your daughters and live the example that she wants to be able to follow. And for any questions for Pia, you can email us at january@januarydonovan.com. Till then, God bless.